Chapter 269 of JJK shapes up to be very pivotal in the series, especially since fans had been hyping up where the series would go once the very intense fight between Yuji and Sukuna finally came to an end. With the King of Curses defeated, the story finally has room to shift into its next phase. For once, it would seem like forever the series could actually delve into some lighter moments, and the characters could interact with each other in ways we haven't seen for some time. The next few chapters could be a nice breath of fresh air. Instead of focusing on the fighting, perhaps the story could focus more on the character relationships and development. As this approaches chapter 269, it becomes highly anticipated and hopefully meets expectations while answering some of the questions that have built up without resolution. This is where a story can really stretch its limbs and move in new directions that set up the next big arc, or at least give further insight into the characters we've grown to know. Anyway, before we continue, please press the like button and please subscribe to my channel and turn on all post notifications so you don't miss any daily uploads. Now let's begin. The more interesting development in JJK chapter 269 would be the body switch between Yuta and Gojo. One of the boldest and less foreseen maneuvers that Yuta could have ever made in the present arc. The Shinjuku Showdown arc placed him in a very strategic position where his contribution during the Sukuna battle was truly priceless. His contribution was not small by any means, as he mainly took the task of confronting Kenjaku, a man who had caused so much chaos in the entire series. Indeed, Yuta successfully defeated Kenjaku and even succeeded in getting Rika to copy his technique, a feat which would go on to have major repercussions afterward. The ability of Kenjaku's technique was that it could brain hop, where he hijacked other people's bodies. With this power in his hands, Yuta had very few options against Sukuna. First, he tried taking down the King of Curses himself, but that totally fell apart when he got hit with the world-splitting dismantle. That hit put him in as bad a position as Gojo was in. In a last-ditch effort to try and turn the tide, Yuta resorted to the extreme measure of switching bodies with Gojo Satoru. That was one sacrifice of really epic proportions that left Yuta stuck in Gojo's body as he entered the battlefield once more. With only 5-minute acting, Yuta was determined to end the fight within this narrow window. But his unfamiliarity with Gojo's body proved to be a great hindrance in the way. Still, he could not beat Sukuna as he would have liked to and was about to be defeated, which sure spelled failure for him. In this regard, Yuta had succeeded only in saving Yuji from Sukuna's domain expansion, and that too was the only part of his plan he succeeded with. Besides, he tried to apply Gojo's techniques such as Unlimited Void and Hollow Purple, but those two did not go as expected. Finally, it was when the time limit expired for the copy technique that Yuta finally collapsed, powerless. Thing is, that drove home to the fans succinctly that Yuta was stuck inside Gojo's body with no way out. It was Yuji who brought down the King of Curses in that battle, but since then, Yuta's future has been left hanging in the balance, and his absence in the storyline has left a huge gaping hole that hopefully will soon be filled by coming chapters. In JJK chapter 269, the center of attraction is expected to be Yuta and the emergency measures necessary to rescue him from death. If Yuta continues to stay inside Gojo's body, his condition will get worse with every passing minute. It's something Yuta himself predicted was going to happen, and if the prediction was right, time would be of the essence. In the worst scenario, Yuta might remain in Gojo's body forever, but that again would come at an unacceptable loss: the permanent severing of all ties with Rika. Considering how intertwined the story of Yuta and Rika has gotten, it would be highly unlikely the author would allow that bond to break. The overall narrative could weave itself together by having Yuta return to his original body, and this chapter could very well spell out the attempts of sorcerers to make this happen. Maybe influential characters like Mei Mei's little brother, or even Shoko, could provide a means for this exchange of bodies. Besides this, chapter 269 will most likely explain what will happen with Gojo. At this moment, Gojo is regarded as dead, though his body still remains unharmed, stitched by Shoko and healed by Yuta using the reverse curse technique. One point that's really fascinating is that the series has already revealed that Kenjaku's earlier introduction was that Mahito made an incomplete judgment about souls he explained that such is the involvement of the soul and the body that they can be said to be the same. This theory came into place when Gojo, after finding out that Kanjaku was in the body of Geto, had communicated with the soul of Geto. And soon enough, Geto did try to strangle Kanjaku from the inside. That even caught Kanjaku off guard, which would mean the bond between the body and the soul runs deeper than anyone would have thought. If that is indeed the case, then Gojo's body might still have his soul trapped inside, in which case the situation just got even more complicated. This chapter will be important in explaining if Yuta can be saved, how that reflects Gojo's future, and what exactly that will entail for the series. Anyway, please press the like button and please subscribe to my channel and turn on all post notifications so you don't miss any daily uploads. Now, let's continue.